Hello BookTube, happy Friday and welcome to a Friday Reads. Today is Friday, July the 19th and I have a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you guys about. A bunch of book stuff, some crafting stuff, some real life stuff. So without making this video too long, let's get started. So as per usual, as you guys know, I am filming this, I always film these on Thursday night and they get uploaded on Friday. So when I talk my Friday Reads, it's not just the books I'm reading on Friday, but the books I'm carrying over into the weekend. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the books I'm going to be reading for the Create Your Own Readathon / 24 in 48 Readathon this weekend. So very exciting. I will start off with the book that I'm going to be reading on Friday. And I haven't started this yet. I'm going to start it tomorrow. It's only, 77 pages. It's just a novella. It is Sister of the Bride by Susan Mallory. This is a novella in the Fool's Gold series. I think it might be 2.5 in the series if you were looking at the series. But I have a bunch, and I've made a list actually of the novellas that I haven't gotten to. I just automatically go to the next book in the series, and I often forget about the novellas. So I made a list of all the novellas that I need to read. And every month I'm going to try and pick a couple of them so I can get to those in the series as well. You know, in a perfect world, I would try and read them before the next book, but, you know, I just haven't gotten to that point yet. So maybe once I catch up, then I can do that while I'm reading series, because one of my goals I've already decided, even though it's only July of 2019, one of my goals for 2020, and I'm going to really start putting this into, starting to do this now, is reading books in series again, because I really kind of fell out of, like, I was reading like the second or the fifth or the whatever, and I really need to get back to reading book series in order, because, you know, I do have a spreadsheet that I can keep track of what series I'm reading and where I am in the series. If I've jumped ahead or what have you, I can fill in the blanks. But there is just something about reading a book series in its proper order, and I do miss doing that. So yeah, so anyway, I'm trying to fill in some of the blanks here. So I did decide to pick this one up. Like I said, it's like 77 pages or something like that. So this one should be a really quick, easy read. I should be able to get this done on my lunch hour tomorrow, on Friday. So that is my goal for Friday for my ebook or whatever. The other book that I started this one. My goal was actually to start this book today, and I did start it today. I started listening to it in the car on my way to work, and I will be honest, in my half-an-hour drive to work, I just couldn't get into it. And this is The Darkest Night by Gina Showalter. I do really like Gina Showalter's writing. I don't mind her paranormal. I read The Girl on Fire last year or earlier this year, and I enjoyed that one. This is for Romanceopoly. It is for the square of warriors something, and you have to read a book that has like a band of warriors in it or something like that. And all of the books, of course, are paranormal. I mean, that's just par for the course, right? And you guys know, paranormal is not my favorite. I don't mind it, but it's not my absolute favorite genre in romance, like paranormal romance. So I started this one, and I will be honest, by the time I got to work this morning, I had no clue what was going on, and I had no interest. I thought, I've got to go back and start listening to it again. It's not like I wasn't paying attention, because, you know, really, in my car, I am paying attention. I know that sounds like, okay, you're not paying attention to your driving, but I totally am. I can do both. It's the same as singing along with the radio or having a conversation with a passenger in your car. You know, I'm not looking down. I'm not fiddling with anything. I'm strictly driving and paying attention to the road, but I can obviously be able to, you know, listen to an audiobook in the background. And this one, I think it's vampires or angels or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't interested, and I got to work and I started thinking, okay, I'll just restart the book and maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe my mind was wandering. And I looked, and it's a long-running series, you guys. And I have a thing, too. If I start a series, I want to finish it. There are very, very few cases where I will not do that. One of them, of course, as you know, I mentioned like last month, is the Royal series by Aaron Watt, which I will not be continuing on. And I thought I didn't want to read this one and then, you know, feel like, okay, yeah, I liked it, it was okay, and then feel the need to continue on, because unless I really, really hate a series, I will try and continue on. So anyway, I decided to put this one down. It's just not something I'm interested in. Like I said, I got maybe a half an hour through the audiobook this morning. So instead, I got thinking today at work about what book I could read for that spot. So I went on the Romanceopoly website and I was looking at their recommendations, and nothing was really interesting me. And I'm like, it's got to be something with a band of warriors, like a group of people who are fighting towards a common goal. So this might not fit, or I think it fits just, it fits a bit. And I'm going to be reading instead, I'll be starting this on Friday, is Living Dead in Dallas by Charlene Harris. This is the second book in the Sookie Stackhouse series. This is another paranormal romance. And there is a group of vampires fighting another group of vampires. So in my mind, this fits the prompt. And I'm going to go with it. Because I did enjoy the first book. I thought it was really cute. It was kind of fun. And I'm interested in getting, like, continuing on. So I thought, why not just jump right into the second book? So that's what I'm going to do here. So this is the second one. I'm looking forward to starting this one tomorrow. And yeah, so out of for those two books that I just mentioned, so like I said, the first one, The Sister of the Bride book by Susan Mallory, I will definitely be finishing that one tomorrow, starting and finishing it, because it is just a novella. Now, Living Dead in Dallas, I'm going to start it tomorrow, but I am going to take a 2-day hiatus of not reading that book, because it is the Create Your Own Readathon weekend, and it is also the 24 and 48. And there are two books that I showed you guys when I did my announcement video for the Create Your Own Readathon for July's, that there are two books that I want to start and finish. That is my goal, is I have two books that I want to start and finish over the course of the weekend. Now, I have not decided which one I want to start with, so let me know in the comments, you guys. These are the two books. The first one is Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, and this is by Rebecca Alder. These are both cozy mysteries. And this is about a Tex-Mex waitress who, as it says on the back, is about to go from serving queso to solving crimes. So there is this one. They're both about the same length, I think just a little over about 300 pages, both of them. So in reality, I do plan on spending this weekend reading. I do have to go out on Saturday morning to take my mom. My mom and I both have to go and have blood work done. I need to fast before my blood work too on Saturday morning. Yuck. But anyway, so we're going to go do that. But outside of that, I plan on spending the weekend reading. I have no other plans. So like I said, this is the first one. And then the other one is Death by Coffee by Alex Erickson. So yeah, this one I'm very much looking forward to as well. This is a little over 300 pages, but the font is a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter. I plan on, like I said, starting and finishing both of these. So let me know, which one should I start with this weekend? I'm also going to put a poll up on Instagram to see if you guys want to vote on that too. So I'm very, very much looking forward to both of these this weekend. I think they're going to be great. And yeah, I am very much looking forward to some cozy mysteries. I need, as much as I've mentioned this before, as much as I love my contemporary romance, it's my bread and butter. Every now and then you need something a little bit different, so I'm looking forward to these a great deal. So just to give you guys kind of an update on what else I've been reading, these will not be, well, the one book, this one will get picked up this weekend because I only have like 35 pages a day is my goal to read on this one. And this is my next 40 Years of Harlequin project. Now, I did not show this to you guys last weekend or last Friday reads. I forgot to open this book on camera, and I'm so sorry. I pulled the one out this week today, so I would not forget to do it. But the one that I opened, I was so excited about getting this one. This is a reread for me, and it is The American Temp and the British Inspector, and this is by Pat White. So like I said, I read this one originally when it was published in 2007. This is not the copy that I had. I got rid of so many of my books, and this was one of them. So I rebought this one, I think on like the Amazon Marketplace or something like that. So right now I'm about 70 pages of the way through this, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's essentially about a man who was worked with Scotland Yard, and he was very, very badly injured in a bomb explosion. And he's kind of taken refuge from the UK, and he's living in Seattle. And, you know, healing and stuff, he's got a bad hip injury, so he walks with a cane, and he's become somewhat of a recluse. And then there's Cassie, and Cassie is his assistant. She was hired on to assist him because he's writing a book. And so she's kind of proofreading the book, plus she's doing like she keeps referring to herself as a Girl Friday, as she goes and gets, you know, she sometimes makes him food, she'll go and get him a coffee, pick up his dry cleaning, you know, that kind of go for this, go for that kind of errands. And of course there's going to be a romance between the two of them. But he's now, they've both gone to Chicago because the serial killer he was tracking prior to his injury is now back, and he's stateside. So they are investigating him. I do have an issue with this, and I don't remember if I picked up on this the first time I read it because it was like, 12 years ago, is that the author is not from the UK. She is American, which, you know, great. But she is writing a UK character. She's writing a bunch of UK characters. And I feel like you're being hit over the head with the fact that they're British. The word governor keeps getting used all the time. Like, the one guy refers to this, what's our main guy? Max. I keep forgetting his name. As Max's governor. And it's like, okay, I get it. Or at the very beginning of the book, you got a lot of when it was from his perspective. Oh, he lives in a flat and he's going to take the lift. And, blah, blah, like very UK specific sayings and things like that. But, it was a little much. And I feel like the author was trying to overcompensate for the fact that she is American to let people know, yes, this guy is British, kind of an idea. The main character, Max, in a way, and I never really watched the show, but I got the gist of it, was the show House. And he kind of reminds me in a bit of a way of Dr. House. He's very sarcastic. He has an I don't care attitude. He's got this injury, blah, blah, blah. So I have to wonder if he was modeled after him ever so slightly. So yeah, but anyway, so far I'm enjoying it. And yeah, it's been fun. And then in Outlander, I am making my way through Outlander. Actually, I have to move my bookmark because I did get a little bit further. I'm into chapter 16. So I've gotten all my reading done. I'm caught up to this week. So yeah, so I'm up to chapter 16. I'm going to need to find my exact page because I was listening to it on audio in the car on the way home today. But yeah, so that's how far I am. I am roughly about on probably about page 300. And oh God, guys, I'm loving it. And it's so funny. This is my fourth. I figured it out. This is my fourth reread through this. Because I read it once many, many, many years ago. When was Outlander published? Because I think a lot of people might think with the TV show being out that this is a fairly new book, and it's not. Because it was originally published under the title Cross Stitch. Back in 1991 is when this originally came out. So 91 to 2001, 2011. That's 20. This book is almost 30 years old. So I read it for the first time probably 15 years ago. It's been a while. 12 to 15 years ago. And then I reread it about 5 years later, both times in print book format. And then the first year I was on Goodreads, so maybe 2015 or 2016, I reread it again on audio. And now this is my fourth. So I am reading things. Now, like I said, I just listened to it on audio 4 years ago-ish. And there are scenes in this book now that I'm coming to. I'm just after the wedding of Jamie and Claire. So spoiler alert for those of you who are not that far into the book. But I'm sure most of you have probably watched the television show. I'm just past the wedding, which I just loved. Jamie, I just love Jamie. And you know what? It's funny because it reminded me when we were at the scenes of the wedding night. I remember having this argument with a woman I used to go with in real life knit group. I used to go to a real, in-person knitting group on Thursday nights a number of years ago when the TV show first came out. And she had read the books as well, and she was so super stoked about the TV show, as was I. And we were talking, and I think it was after the first or second episode. And I said to her, I do not remember that much adult content in the books. And she goes, oh my God, yes, there was tons of adult content. And as I read through those scenes, yes, there is adult content, but it's not graphic. It was always in the book, it's a fade to black. You get a little bit of a hint of what's happening, but it's all left up to the reader's imagination, and it's a fade to black. And I like the way that's done. I like the fact that she did not have to make this graphically adult. Does that make sense? Some scenes are a little bit more than others, but they are still, in my opinion, still very tame compared to the television show. And I really like that. I like that they kept it that way. And it's funny now, though, that now that I've seen the TV show, of course, as I'm picturing Jamie and Claire, it's the two characters from the show. And same with Jack Randall and McDougal and, stuff like that. So I am thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm so glad I'm rereading through it. And I cannot wait to continue on after this one. That is my plan. For those of you who might not know, this is a read-along that we're doing. There is, I'll leave a link to the Goodreads group in the description box below. There's a bunch of us doing this read-along together. Feel free to jump in at any time. This is running till the end of August. I know somebody posted that they were upset that they missed it. But no, don't be... I'm only 300 pages into it. Yes, I've marked it off that, the goal was 5 chapters a week, and then 6 chapters in the last week over an 8-week period. but feel free to jump in at any time. And then after this one, we'll jump into Dragonfly and Amber. And then, so that'll be September, October will be Dragonfly and Amber. And then November, December will be Voyager. And then we'll continue on. If you guys don't want to continue on with me, that's fine. But that is my goal, is to make my way through the first 8 books in this series. So, and hopefully, I'm hoping by the time that we get done in roughly 16 months, because there's 8 books, that book 9 will have been published, and I cannot wait. So yes, I'm very, very excited. I'm loving this. So anyway, more bookish stuff before, I'll try and keep the rest of this quick, I do promise. My next 40 Years of Harlequin book project, I did promise that I would make sure I opened it this week. So let's see what book we have. Quite a bit of tape on this one. So 2008 is what we're going to be up to, and we have a special edition, or a super romance, excuse me. The Man Behind the Badge by Janice K. Johnson. I really like this author a lot. This is part of the Count on the Cop series. These are not a series you can read in order. This is just, there are certain series that you don't have to read in order within the Harlequin or Mills and Boon, or whatever you want to call it, universe. Count on a Cop, Suddenly Apparent, I think, is one of them. Fatherhood is another one of them. The Wrong Bed from the Blaze series is another one. Billionaires and Babies, part of the Desire series, is another one of them. These are series that they just kind of all tag them this, so you kind of know that this is a story about a police officer. Or in the Billionaires and Babies, it's about single dads. Or the Fatherhood series, about new dads or single dads, or whatever. It kind of just groups them together, but they don't build off of each other, if that makes sense. So let's see what this one is about. Being a big city cop and being in control means everything to Bruce Walker. He knows how destructive a man can be when given the chance. That's why he's vowed never to get involved. All that changes the moment he meets psychologist Karen Johnson. The connection between them is intense, something he's tempted to explore. Regardless of how Bruce feels, though, he can't let go of everything he knows. His control is even more important now that they're involved in a domestic violence case. Karen insists he's different than the one he sees in the mirror. But can he trust her and himself long enough to open his eyes and see it too? Sounds good. I'm looking forward to this one. Yes, 2008. This one should be really good. I'm very much looking forward to this. So I'll get this one started early next week. So that is it for booked stuffs. Let's get on to the crafty stuff. Really, I only have to show you my sock and my sweater. I got a lot knit on my sweater this week, you guys. Oh my gosh, tons knit on my sweater. So my sock, I'm almost done. I have 1.5 inches to go. I have 1 more inch of just plain knitting, so that's where I was last week when I showed you, and that's what I got done. I have 1 more inch, and then I have, or 1/2 inch, and then I have the inch worth of ribbing at the top of the sock, and I'm done. So because I'm done, I pulled another bag of sock yarn because I'm going to be starting another pair of socks right away. So yes, I'm really, really enjoying this. These socks are amazing. I absolutely love them, and I cannot wait to finish them. This is just a plain vanilla sock. The toe is from the pattern, oh gosh, it's just a vanilla sock pattern. If I remember, I will post it in the description box below. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I just I Frankensteined my socks together, like how I do my plain vanilla sock, the way that fits me the best, from several different patterns. So my toe is, I do toe up, obviously. So I cast on 12 stitches total. No, 24 stitches total, 12 on each side. And then I increase for 4 rows. I increase twice every row for 4 rows. And then I knit a row, increase a row for another 8 rows. So 12 rows in total. And then eventually I end up with, I think it's 56 stitches on my socks. But yeah, so that's my plain vanilla sock pattern. And then I do the toe for or the foot for, I think 7 inches in total, because that's what fits my foot. And then I do the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which is a $1 pattern on Ravelry and totally worth the $1, absolutely. And then I just go up the leg however long I want, and then I bind off. So yeah, my plain vanilla sock, getting this off the needles probably on Saturday. And then the sweater, like I said, got a lot of love, guys. I added in the 3rd color. I'm so excited. So this is the So Faded cardigan sweater from Andrea Mowry. And this is just a plain top-down rag sleeve sweater. But the whole fun of it is that you knit 3 different, or 4. In my case, it's going to be 4 different colors of sock yarn and you fade them into each other. So this is my first color up here, this bluey purpley color. And then I got into this color, which was the second color here. And that's where I was the last time. It's been a few weeks since I've shown this to you. And now I'm into the third color, which is down here. They are melding so well together, you guys. So there is my third ball of yarn. This is called Jelly Bean, and it's from Sunrise Fiber Co. She no longer dyes yarn, sadly, because her stuff was my favorite. I loved it to pieces. So yeah, so I have I'm about halfway through the body of this, because the second color would or the third color would signify the halfway point. And then after I'm done, I'll have my after I'm done this color, then I'll put in my fourth color, and then I've got to do the sleeves. But this is to wear to the New York Sheep and Wool or Rhinebeck in October. I cannot wait. And yeah, I'm going to absolutely love it. It looks fantastic. And it's so soft and squishy, you guys. And this is in sock yarn, so it does take a little while to knit because the yarn is super duper thin. But yeah, this is a great pattern. Again, it's just a standard top-down raglan sleeves. It's a great beginner pattern, other than the fact that you're fading from one color to the next. And I can't give away the pattern, but if you can figure out how to fade a color to the next, you could probably do this with any free pattern on Ravelry. So yeah, not that I'm trying to take away from the designer, because it's a very, very well written pattern, and she gives you lots of different options on how to make the sweater, like if you want to make it cropped or you want short sleeves or what have you. So, but I am just saying though, it's a pretty basic pattern in my opinion. And it's living in my yoga bag, which I really like. So yeah, so that's pretty much all for the crafting this week, other than opening my next skein of yarn, because next Thursday, so a week as I'm filming this today, earlier in the morning, I am heading off to Buffalo, New York, to go to work. I am going to do some training at the Buffalo office, and I'm going to go down for 2 days, so I'm staying on Thursday night. And then on Friday, at the Buffalo office, they are doing a barbecue. Like, it's a summer barbecue. They do it every year. And so essentially we get to finish work at noon. And then because my manager insisted that I come down, she's like, you are part of the department. So, come down for this training on the Thursday, but more training on the Friday. And then on the Friday afternoon, I can join them as a member of the department for this barbecue. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to finally get to meet my manager, because I haven't met her yet in person. And some of my other coworkers, the new coworkers that we have that I haven't met yet. So yeah, it's kind of nice to feel like you're part of the group, even though you're technically in a completely different country. So anyway, all that being said, I wanted another pair of socks on the needles so I could take them with me, because I know we'll probably just be sitting around at the barbecue on a picnic table. That's what my manager Grace was saying. She's like, she wants us to sit around and chat and outside of work, and she wants to get to know us as her team and stuff like that. And I can't just sit. Being a knitter and being a reader, I can't just sit. And I can't sit with my nose in a book, because that would be totally rude. So I figured, let's cast on another pair of socks. So I have a large bag over in the corner over there that beginning of last year, I threw 12 skeins of sock yarn into brown paper bags. And every time I finish a pair of socks, I am just pulling out another skein of yarn and knitting a pair of socks. So let's see what we're going to be casting on. If this is really variegated, I know exactly what pattern I'm going to do. My friend Lynn did it recently, but I'll of course show you guys next week. I think it's called Peppermint Mocha. I can't remember the designer. I'll leave it linked below if I remember. So let's see what we got in here. I have to ball this up because it is in a skein and not in a ball. It's not variegated. It's not as variegated as I wanted, but it's still pretty. Look at that, you guys. This is from a company called Monthy and the Squid. They are a UK-based dyer. I don't know if they're still around. They were on Etsy. If they're still around, I'll link them below. And this is called Frosted Gingerbread. And you guys, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the camera, but she's got a squid on her thing. So yeah, so it's called, Iced Gingerbread. This is a 75% merino, 25% nylon, superwash. So I'm going to have to see how this knits up, because the pattern I want to do is a lot of slip stitches. And slip stitches work best when you do them on a highly variegated yarn, because you really notice them more. They tend to get lost in something like this. So maybe I'll do my friend Brandy's running through socks instead. We shall see. I'll see how this knits up. So I'm not going to wind it here, obviously, because that'll take me like an hour and a half, or about an hour to do. But just let me unravel it here. I'll just show you guys what this looks like. So, as you can see, it's half and half. Now, I've had skeins of yarn like this before. This might unintentionally stripe, because I might be able to do like a full round of each color, or each 2 rows of each color. We shall see. I think it's still going to be really pretty, and they are kind of Christmassy socks. So yeah, we shall see. I am looking for, I'll have to wind this now, or wind this tonight, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it back into the hank as it was, because I suck at doing that. I have friends of mine who work with indie dyers. My friend Jess works with 100 Ravens, and my friends Jen and Mandy work with, oh my gosh, I just saw them at the festival. She's gonna hurt me. Fiber Stash. And they can wind back into hanks so much better than I can. That's too loosey-goosey, so we're just going to put that down before we make a mess of it. So that is pretty much it for books and yarn. Couple little things quickly mentioning. As I mentioned last week, thank you guys so much. Yes, Garrett had his orientation today at his new job, and he starts on Monday with training. And yeah. So that's that. The crap news of this week that I didn't find out until last Friday, because as I mentioned, I record these on Thursday. I found out on Friday, and not that my parents were keeping anything from me, but they wanted to have all the information before they let us know. So Dad, of course, has to go for MRIs like every 2 or 3 months. And I guess they did another one, and they did find a couple spots in his lymph nodes near his liver. Not in his liver, but near his liver. So originally I think that they thought it was just one, and they were going to do radiation, which I kind of knew that already. I had heard my mom say something about it, but I didn't ask too many questions. But because they've now have more than one spot, he does have to do chemotherapy. So that sucks. He had his first chemo treatment yesterday on Wednesday, and I talked to him this morning, and he sounds fantastic. He's like, I didn't get sick at all, because that was his big concern, was how nauseous, how sick he was going to feel. Now, it was only one treatment. And he was given pre-nausea or medication to take, anti-nausea medication to take prior to having the treatment done yesterday. And he did take it before he went, and then he only took half of it, and the nurse is like, no, you're supposed to take the whole thing. So when he got home from the appointment yesterday, he took the rest of it. But he hasn't been sick. He goes back again next week, so he's got a nice reprieve between treatments. He goes back, I think, next Tuesday or Wednesday. And he has to have another treatment, and then this one is like less. It's like half the amount of medication that they used the first time, or they used 2 medications this time, and the next time they're only going to use 1. I don't really understand, but he doesn't have to be there as long, because I think it was 2.5 hours yesterday. He's like, I forgot a book. I'm like, really? Have I not taught you anything? Always bring a book. But anyway, so he's going to go for that next week. And then he gets a whole week off, and then he goes again. So I think it's like every 8 days he has to go for a treatment. So it's not that bad. I remember when my grandmother had it for breast cancer about 20 years ago. She was going a couple times a week, and it was really, really hard on her. And she was the same age Dad is now. So she was 70 and Dad's 70. It's weird to think that, isn't it? Like, that your parents don't... No, my parents don't get old. But, no, I'm still 18. What are you talking about? So anyway, he does have a nice reprieve between them, and I think that's what's going to make all the difference. And then, I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but I'm assuming in a couple months they will redo another MRI, see what these spots look like, and make a decision from there. So, he's in good spirits. He is, he was really nervous over the last few days. Of course, it's chemotherapy. That's frightening. And when he saw his own mother go through it and how sick she was, you can absolutely appreciate the fear that you would have. So now that he kind of knows this is what it is, and like the nurses told him, not everybody gets sick. Not everybody, they tell you because it happens to a lot of people, but not everybody. So fingers crossed he stays good, and that we get this all cleared up. And, chemo is scary, but in my opinion, it's a more brutal treatment to your body. You know what I mean? Like, it's poison, essentially. It's a cocktail of poisons. And, but if it's going to clear up what's there, then go for it. You know what I mean? But anyway, So I'm not as scared as I was originally when I heard on Friday. I've you know, I understand, and I just keep thinking about my grandmother, that even though she was that sick during her treatments, she was around for another 22 years after that. So, you know, fingers crossed, right? At least for Dad, at least. He's got to stick around. He's got to watch his grandkids get much older and give him great grandchildren, just like my grandmother got to see. But anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. This is a really long video. I do apologize, you guys. So yes, I will be in Buffalo next Thursday, Friday. So my next Friday reads that you guys are going to see are going to come from a hotel room in Buffalo, New York, where I plan on doing maybe a teeny tiny bit of shopping. I want to go to Ulta, of course. I want to go to Barnes & Noble, because you can't not go to a Barnes & Noble. I'm probably going to try, I know that there's a Savers in Buffalo, so I'm probably going to go there too. And of course Trader Joe's. I'm a huge fan of Trader Joe's, and we don't have them up here, so I'm pretty much going to be going to all the places we don't have here. So and I think Garrett might even have a list of 1 or 2 things for me to pick up, perhaps in the Walmart or Target when I'm down there, so we shall see. Garrett just said Target. So if I do that, what I'll do is I'll insert those clips at the end of that video, if I get a chance. 'Cause I'm bringing my laptop and stuff with me, so I can do all my editing and stuff. But that one will probably be a short video, and then all the clips, because I've been rambling, and I'm still rambling, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you all so much for watching. These are some of my favorite videos to do, because I can just sit here and, like, all my videos I can be myself, but even more so with this, because I can get personal with you guys, and you guys don't seem to mind, you know, hearing about my craziness of that's going on with my life. But have a great weekend, everybody. For those of you participating in the Create Your Own Readathon, please do not forget to go to the Goodreads group and sign up, or put your pledge down of this is what I'm going to read for the weekend. If you're participating in the 24 and 48, good luck. We can do it. I don't plan on doing 24 hours. I'm hoping to get to maybe 8 to 12. We shall see. And yeah, anyway, guys, until my next video, take care and happy reading. Bye, guys.